Hello and welcome back to our Vlandian Night adventures. As you can see, we've just received a peace proposal from the Western Empire. And as you can see, they have war exhaustion breathing down their necks. And they're wanting to pay war reparations of 66 dinars. Personally, I don't really like this. I don't really see the point in taking 66 dinars. However, we are, as far as I'm aware, yes, we are still at war against the Sturgians. And I personally would like to focus on the Sturgians a little bit more, focus the Vlandians' efforts on them. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to make peace with the Western Empire, and we're going to see if we can maybe focus a little bit more on the Sturgians, and hopefully get some Sturgian vassals into some battles. And hopefully we'll be able to find some relatively soon. Wait a minute. Godun has joined us, of course. We did get him in the previous episode, so that's very nice. And look at that. I've just gained 250 in scouting. Bruce actually leveled up just a minute ago, by the way. And there we go, 250 in scouting is going to give me those wonderful, extremely useful 8 extra hit points. You can tell that I'm being sarcastic there, because I personally don't think that that is a very good trait. But, you know, maybe that will be changed in the future, who knows. But anyway, I'm thinking maybe we'll go for some more steward skill. Any party leaving or entering must engage first. Ooh, they seem to have made some nice changes to the steward skill. Man-at-Arms seems pretty good as well. If you're under siege, food consumption in settlement is reduced by 40%. That's actually quite good as well. And look at this, +1 companion for each town you own as well. I mean, I think that's pretty nice, but we're actually going to be going for some engineering here. As I've said before, I think engineering is a really good idea, at least for the moment. And we're probably also going to be going for, I mean, I would like to get elusive. This is really good too. Very, very useful skill to have. But I think for the moment, I'm probably going to be speccing in... Ooh, I mean, charm skill is really good. As you can see, every 5 skills after 250 gives you +1 influence. So I think I'm actually going to go for one more social, even though we are already pretty high in charm, but it does also increase our leadership skill, which is always very useful indeed. But yeah, anyway, let's hope that I'm going to be able to... Aha, hello there. Okay, so Ragenvad is also over there. As you can see, he's got his own army, 439. Vidar is right here, so we're probably going to be doing battle with him as soon as possible. And Olek is also there, 3.4. We're moving much faster than him, aren't we? It depends. It depends whether it's in the forest or not, I think. But there you go. Okay, so is he the actual leader of his clan? No, he's actually he's actually in Ragenvad's clan, hilariously enough. So what we're going to be doing here is a straight up charge. That's it. A straight up charge. And the reason for that is that I want my people to get as much experience as possible so that we can potentially get some more champions to rise through the ranks. That's a very important strategy for us at the moment, because if we can get more and more companions, then we're going to create an utter devastating force that the world has never known, and hopefully we'll be able to, well, just do better in general. You know, just have those guys do massive damage, and you know, dependent on what they become, of course, because if I have a bunch of, I don't know, Vlandian, I was about to say Swadian there for a second, but yes, if I have a bunch of Vlandian sharpshooters rise through the ranks as champions, then those guys are, of course, going to be extremely good at ranged combat. If I have, you know, Vlandian banner knights or something like that, then they're going to be even better. They're going to be super, super powerful cavalry companions. And those things are just going to be generally fun to see, in my opinion. So hopefully we'll be able to do something like that. If no one rises through the ranks at this point, then, you know, there's always another fight waiting round the corner for us. But yeah, feels to me like Sturgians should be the ones that we're focusing on at the moment. And we can just allow the Western Empire to be consumed by the people nearby to them, instead of having to focus our efforts on them as well. Because I don't know whether you noticed, but the Western Empire has a pretty significant portion of territory, amazingly enough. they still have Zionica, this castle down here. They still have Rote and Lagater and all that stuff. And the Northern Empire is doing pretty well, too, to resist the Khuzait, for example. It's actually quite interesting how the Khuzait haven't really done anything in this particular campaign of ours here. And Battania is also kind of relaxing a little bit, and they don't seem to be that aggressive in comparison to how they usually are. So we'll see what happens. This is a pretty even game so far, personally. I don't think I really see any particular faction coming out ahead, which I very much enjoy. I do enjoy seeing that, because that means that we have a much closer game, and it is much more tense. And the atmosphere is much more in your face, so to speak, because you don't know who's going to come out on top. However, this is a perfect scenario for us to have, and I don't know whether you can see exactly why that is, but Caladog is going to be causing the opponent to get super damaged, and then we're just going to swoop in at the end. Alright, so your Couch Lance now has a 30% chance to stay couched if it killed someone. That is insane. That's a really, really cool trait to have, but I think I'm actually going to be taking this. When you hit enemies' heads with a polearm, you deal 50% more damage. Is that actually worth it, though? That's the question I'm asking myself right now, because if you think about this, if you hit someone on the head with a polearm, you're probably going to kill them anyway, right? You're probably going to kill them anyway. So if you instead were to take this seems pretty fun. I'm actually going to take this. I don't know whether it's working, because obviously I do have community fixes installed, or should we say community patch installed. And so if I go to, I know some people have recommended this in the past, and I have taken a look at it, in general. But if you go to bannerlordperks.com or something along those lines, I think it's something like that, then you can see which perks are working and which are not. However, I'm not entirely sure if that takes into account the community patch fixes. So do bear that in mind. Anyway, we're just going to chill out here. I'm basically just going to stand right behind them. And we're going to wait for them to eliminate Caladog in just a second. There you go. And then we're going to swoop in. And we're going to attack him. Yes, Caladog did all the work. I mean, it was his choice, it was his choice to do something like that. I mean, I personally would not have done that if I was him. He had a pretty significantly strong army, so it would have been making just that little bit more sense to relax a little bit, Relax a little bit, see what he could do somewhere else. And, then he probably would have had a much nicer time. But he decided to go in, and that's exactly what he got. So, yes, anyway, now that we have that new Couch Lance ability, I think what I'm going to do is I will be trying to find a Couch Lance, because I actually don't have one of those at the moment. As you can no doubt tell, I just have a Manavlion, which is, in my opinion, one of the better spears that you can use, but it doesn't have Couch Lancing capability. So obviously it is pretty useless for my trait that I just took, which is to be expected, of course. I didn't expect it to be useful immediately, but that is going to be changing, hopefully, relatively soon. Oh, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Thrown weapons, they're so powerful. They're so powerful. Okay, let's just tell people just to charge in, I guess. I mean, we do outnumber them quite a lot, so it is to be expected that we should just charge in and win with brute force. There we go. Yeah, I probably should have just charged them in initially anyway, instead of trying to play tactically, but I thought because of the combat strength it would kind of make a bit more sense to do that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So yes. Anyway, I think it's done, but there's only one enemy remaining. I wonder who it is. Is it actually... Oh, there we go. It's actually the enemy lord, isn't it? I think that actually needs to be looked at as... Oh, no, never mind. It is actually not the enemy lord. Okay, well... Scratch what I was about to say then, because usually the enemy lord survives until the end, and that elongates the battle artificially, and I think that should be a little bit different, but that's just my thinking on it. Anyway, we're just going to let all of these guys go, every single one of them, because we want to get as much relation with these people as we can, and then You know what we're going to do? We're going to try to persuade them, of course. We're going to try to persuade them. Obviously, letting Ragnvad go, probably not the best idea, but we're doing that for a very specific reason, because if, in the end, the Sturgians get eliminated, then Ragnvad might very well defect to another faction, and then he'll be open for persuasive talks. And so I'm actually just going to be taking every single unit that I can get my hands on here. Now, unfortunately, this is going to cause my party wages to skyrocket in the, well, shall we say, bad direction. But it is worth it, in my opinion. I think it is worth it. So let's have a look and see how many prisoners I actually have. Oh, I have a massive amount of space now, don't I? Okay, so let's take the highest tier units, and we'll take these guys, these guys. We have so much space. So much space. This was basically a perfect engagement on our part. And if I do say so myself, let me just give myself a pat on the back right there. But anyway, we're not going to take any more prisoners from them. And the loot is going to be significant in itself. And there we have it. Perfect. Omor has just been taken, or was taken by the Battanians a while ago, and we're going to be heading in there and selling everything as well. So we're going to be getting a good amount of cash from that. Look at that, 9,600. We also have a whole bunch of rather wonderful weapons that we'll be able to smelt down too. And we'll go and ransom our prisoners. Look at this, 17,000 just from that. Just from that. And look at that, we've just upgraded 58 troops. That is amazing. Oh, wait a minute. I actually need to check to see whether I have everything set up properly here, because there might be some people that I haven't set up. No, absolutely everyone is set up. That's great. So let's go into the tavern, ransom all the prisoners, and then we'll go into the smithy and do a little bit of something there. And we gain 6 skill points in roguery as well, so we now have 54 roguery, which is exactly what I wanted to get to. And Thorgood can now do a little bit of smelting here. Unfortunately, we don't have a huge amount of charcoal anymore. We used to have a lot more. But yeah, we're going to need to do something about that. There we go. That's all done. And then we'll do a little bit more of this. There we go. And now let's do some forging, shall we? Let's do a little bit of forging. And we do have quite a few pieces of, quite a few resources. So it would be quite good for us to do something with that. And let's see what we can do here. Oh, this is looking nice. Okay, let's use this. That's a pure two-handed sword. And let's also do that. This? This? Highest difficulty sword? Let's try doing a super high difficulty sword right here. And let's see what happens. Because obviously this is going to result in stats being decreased. But I assume it's actually going to pay off quite nicely for us in the paying department. It doesn't really give us that much skill gain, though, which is a bit problematic. But we are unlocking a bunch of new smithing parts. So let's just have a look and see. Yeah, as you can quite clearly tell, that was pretty worth it, in my opinion. As you can see, look at that, 12,000. That is fantastic. All right, so I have 357. Actually, I have 370 units available for battle now, so I should be able to go into a siege and start leveling up my engineering skill relatively fast. So let's see, shall we? What should I try to take? What do you think? I should probably take Of Castle, shouldn't I? I mean, there's 674 there. That's going to be a bit too dramatic for us, isn't it? Maybe a little bit too much, you know, biting off a little bit too much. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, that I believe Godun actually left Vlandia, so it seems as though the yes, it seems as though the defection overhaul mod is not working for my faction for some reason. Because I technically do own Vlandia now. Technically, I am the leader of Vlandia, so it is a bit weird how he left. So I might actually have to take a look at the settings of the mod. It might very well be that I have too low relation with him. That might be the case. It might also be the case that I just didn't have enough enough territory to give him, basically. I think he didn't have any fief whatsoever, so that might be causing him a bit of contention there. But anyway, we're going to do a little bit of sieging here. Going to build some stuff. Going to get our engineering to level up. Hopefully it will level up relatively quickly. Seems like it's not actually leveling up quickly at all, which is quite surprising, considering I actually do have... Oh, there we go. I think finishing building something does give us a rather large skill bonus, so that's quite good. But also a good reason why I'm doing this is to kind of lure any remaining Sturgian vassals out of hiding, so that we can potentially do some damage to them. And let's just kind of hide the trebuchet. This castle only has 30,000 wall HP as well, so it is actually going to go down very quickly indeed. Look at that, we're gaining some good skill points right here. Okay, hello, Vidar, once again. I'm sure he doesn't want to fight us again, that's for sure. Don't think he would, no. Who's that? Ragnvad himself. Okay, well, good to know. He's running around with a very small army now. Okay, so these guys, there we go. And we have 89 days worth of food. I have a massive amount of cash. Should have enough to be able to sustain ourselves until the inevitable happens and we have to run away. And there we go. Speed of building castles and walls increased by 30%. That basically makes no difference whatsoever to me at the moment. Personally, I feel like that trait should be changed to 30% increased speed in building, offensive siege weapons and things like that, because that's what you're mainly going to be doing initially in the game. So I think that would probably be better, but that's just my thinking on it. Who knows what's going to happen with things like that. Okay, so there you go. We're just going to be attacking the ballistas. Obviously, do bear in mind that every single time a ballista goes down, they lose like 5 to 6 units every single time. And that is very, very advantageous. Oh, look at that. We've got a non-aggression pact expiring right here as well, which is going to be a bit problematic for us, maybe. It really depends on what they want to do. I'm not entirely sure if it's just me, but it seems to me like the siege weapons have become much more effective. Is that just my imagination? Because it seems to me like the trebuchets are actually hitting most of the time now in comparison to not as they were before. Ah, it seems like we are going to be declaring war on Battania. Oh, interesting. Ah, this is kind of a split down the middle, but most people do seem to want to declare war. Derthart does not. Aldrich really does not. He is actually dedicating 100 influence to this. Let's see what other people are. Ingaltha really wants to go to war. Okay, so I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to say yes, and we will go to war against Battania. I'm hopeful that will actually pay off quite nicely for us, because I would like us to expand our territory in that direction, if at all possible. I think that would be quite fun. And hopefully quite lucrative as well. So anyway, once the nighttime is over, we will be heading in. Here we go. All right. So I'm not going to build a battering ram or anything like that, because I want most of my units to use the holes in the walls, if we can hopefully get them to do that. So let's see. What is this? Catapults are 30% more effective. Again, siege defense. I don't know why that's really one of the earliest traits for engineering. It doesn't really make sense to me, but maybe it makes sense to other people. All right, so let's begin the assault. Straight away, heading in here. And my people are going to be using both of the holes in the walls. And that is going to be very effective indeed, hopefully. The main reason why I would build a siege tower or two here, as well as a battering ram, is to split the enemy's attention. However, I'm not entirely sure how effective that is, considering then my forces are also split in a rather uncomfortable way, and that's generally not what you want, is it? So hopefully we're going to do all right here. I'm going to switch to my wonderful polearm, and then we're going to just swing around with it. and hopefully do some damage. Yes, as you can see, not very effective at the moment, unfortunately, but hopefully we will be able to start getting some damage. Yes, nice. Get some damage on these guys as best as we can. Okay, they're not really defending very well, are they? But I guess if they were to just stand there with their shields up and not really do much except defend, then that would be kind of sad. So, kind of pleasing that I am actually able to do some damage. Yes, yes, kill them all. Let's do some overheads. Nice. Yes, that is what we like to see. And yeah, I think we're pretty good here. We are losing quite a few units, but that is really not a big deal. As I've said before, if we end up losing units, then that is just the price to pay for expanding our territory. And do bear in mind that if we are able to indeed take this, then it will result in some good relation gains with some of our other vassals, and that's also a pretty good reason, in my opinion, to go to war against people as well, because being able to increase your relation with your vassals, especially in a situation where they might very well usurp the throne back from you, which I think is possible, then yeah, it's going to be a good idea to try and schmooze them as much as possible. Try to persuade them to be on your side continually. And we're getting some good skill gains from this too. Look at that. I got 175 tactics. My medicine skill's also going up. Hopefully we'll be able to get 100. Probably not from this, but probably from the restoring of all the units afterwards. And I'm actually full HP, if you can believe it. I haven't taken any damage whatsoever. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's really satisfying actually to fight with a two-handed or some kind of polearm on foot. And I'm very much enjoying it. These guys can't even do damage to me with their bows as well. Oh, never mind. Okay. Yes, I'll get out my shield then. I thought to myself, I'm just going to see how much damage they're actually able to do. Look at how many of them leveled up. Oh, now that's crazy. Okay, so unfortunately, I can only choose up to 2. I would love to be able to choose more, of course, but I can only choose up to 2. So I will choose the Battanian Fian Champion, and I will choose the Sturgian Druznik, because these are both noble units, and that makes the most sense in my opinion. So can I... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, I can't select any more than that. I thought to myself, oh, I can actually select more. No, you can't actually. So we're just going to go for that. There we go. Perfect. Very nice indeed. And look at that. 208 renown, 118 influence, and we expanded our territory, of course. Of Castle is going to be a little bit difficult for us to, shall we say, defend, but hopefully it will not be our responsibility. Oh, look at this. As the capturer of Castle, you have the right of first refusal. Would you like to claim this fief? No, I actually wouldn't. I actually wouldn't like to capture it. Okay, so yeah, now we can basically just stick around here a little bit, just restore ourselves somewhat, and then we can move on. Is this actually mine? Apparently, it is automatically mine. Yes, apparently it is actually automatically mine. That is not intended. I did not really want that. Thank you very much. Okay, so recruitment is going to have to stop immediately. And we're going to have to... stop recruiting prisoners. The training is also going to have to stop as well. Unfortunate. Okay, so we're just going to wait here for some time. And we're going to see what happens. But otherwise, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching. And there we go. Now we can vote on it. And I will see you next time.